Before I get into this topic, I would like my co-host to say a word to dear friends.
Thank you very much, my veteran Dragon, for hosting us this very afternoon. Absolutely, I know that it's afternoon, my place. Other Biafrans, wherever you are, according to your time zone. So you are all welcome to this great topic that is going to be discussed and shared here, and that we're going to learn more how we stand more resistantly to the enemy, so that at the end of it, we will absolutely gain, acquire, and get what we want: freedom, liberation, and at the same time recognition that we are pursuing at the moment. Can I say I salute every one of you here that come to this very space now, and those who are listening anonymously. At the same time, those who will still come to listen to us as we delve into this very topic. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. And as far as at the moment, I'm doing a few serial exercises. So I will still hold on the space. At the same time, I'll check through most of the listeners. If they have found one thing, I'll take them off the board. Thank you very much. I hit my mic. Thank you, the host of the program this afternoon. But I'll pray I will not, put off the board very important dignitaries that want to listen to us here. I hit my mic.
Yeah, thank you. That was a very nice one. Thank you. That was a mature submission. I salute you. And
are you hearing them now? Please give me a thumb up. Good morning. Happy New Year.
Mazi Uncle the number. You were the first to ask for the mic. Before I take on this topic, I just want you to just say a word, and more so because you have promised that if space goes down, you will pick it up.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Please, just say some few words to dear friends.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, veteran. Thank you. Yes, I won't like to say that whenever you host a space like this, I find it interesting because I do learn a lot, and also Biafrans do learn. Thank you for hosting the space, and today we have come again to continue what we know how best to do in order to to enlighten ourselves and also to awaken fellow Biafrans and Nigerians on the need for us to rise up to do what is our duty, what is the task resting on our shoulder that nobody can do for us except us. Yes, please, if you have not shared the space, please share the space as soon as you join. Make it a duty, share and invite others, because
if you don't
this is not what you can keep on yourself alone. Information is power, information is security, and information is knowledge. As we go on to listen to what our veteran have for us, thank you so much. More grace to Evans.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mazi Uncle the number. You have never lacked words. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So, like I said, the topic we are dealing with today will have to do with Biafrans and Nigerians. So, Nigerians, please, wherever you are, come to this space. Come to this space. Come to this space wherever you are. So, we are looking at Nigeria and Biafra. Lessons from Iran's unbreakable spirit of resistance. We are honored to have you joining us from different parts of the world, because I know there are others who are listening anonymously. So thank you so much, every one of you. Whether you are listening live, contributing as a speaker, or turning it out, coming around out of curiosity, or all of you are highly welcome. This space is designed to be informative. It's going to be informative, it's going to be engaging, and it's going to be thought-provoking. We encourage respectful dialogue. We encourage respectful dialogue. Critical thinking. Today's space, we encourage critical thinking and clarity of ideas. These are our grand norms for today's space. We would like to encourage respectful dialogue, critical thinking, and the clarity of ideas. The goal is not noise. We are not here to just make noise, but understanding. We are here to understand, not emotion alone. We are not here for anything emotional, but insight. We want to get insight to issues that concerns us as Biafrans and Nigerians. Kindly note that this is a moderated space. So today, because we are going to have both Nigerians and Biafrans together in this space is going to be highly moderated. When you request the mic, please keep your contributions concise. Make it brief. Don't let the co-host to silence you or to mute you. Be discretive. Yeah, be discretive. Use your own discretion and make it very concise, very brief, and make it relevant to the topic. And also be respectful so that we can accommodate as many voices as possible. If at any point a speaker is deemed out of order, if the host or the co-host at any point deems a speaker out of order, the host or the co-host reserve the right to mute him or her microphone or return the speaker to listener status. I want to repeat this aspect of our ground rule. If any speaker is deemed out of order, the host and co-host reserve the right to mute him or her microphone and return him or her to the speaker to the listener status. If you find value in today's discussion, you find it valuable, we encourage you to share the space. Please invite others and stay engaged throughout the session. Once again, I welcome everyone and let us begin now. Our topic still remains Nigeria and Biafra, lessons from Iran's unbreakable spirit of resistance. We are going to begin by setting the record straight. Let us begin by setting the record straight. And like we usually do, I will stop at a point, then there will be contributions. Then after that, I will proceed to the next subheading. We are not celebrating the 1979 Iranian Revolution. That's not what we are here. The 1979 Iranian Revolution is not what we are here to celebrate. That revolution removed a king And and after removing the king, it installed a far more dangerous tyranny. A far more dangerous tyranny. Our focus today is the current freedom struggle of the Iranian people. So it's not a question of taking us back to 1979. We are focusing today in the current freedom struggle of the Iranian people. Their resistance against a terrorist theocratic sultanate that hijacked their nation. You know, a nation can be hijacked, like Nigeria. The Fulanis have hijacked Nigeria. The terrorists have hijacked Nigeria. The Islamic jihadists have hijacked Nigeria. And everyone is paying the price for it. Everyone is suffering. Every indigenous people in Nigeria, they are suffering the fact that Nigeria has been hijacked. So we are saying that we want to learn lessons from the resistance against the terrorist theocratic sultanate that hijacked the Iranian nation, which also is what Nigerians are suffering today. Why does this matter? Why does this matter to us, Biafrans, and to those of you who are Nigerians? Why what is happening in Iran? Why does it matter? Why should we discuss about it? Why do we want to learn some lessons from it? It matters to us Biafrans and to you Nigerians because Iran teaches us a painful but powerful truth. The Iranian people today, they are teaching us, we Biafrans, and those of you who are Nigerians, they are teaching us a very painful but powerful truth. A very painful but powerful truth. The people may be deceived once. You can be deceived once, even as an individual, a group of people, a people as a nation may be deceived once. But they will eventually rise again. They will eventually rise again. And history is there to attest to this. And when people rise a second time, when people rise a second time, when people rise a second time, it is no longer confusion. It is no longer going to be confusion. When they rise a second time, it becomes a conscious resistance against injustice. It becomes a conscious, something that is being done intentionally, conscientiously. Becomes a conscious resistance against injustice. So the revolutions can be stolen. Revolutions can be stolen. And many nations have suffered that. Nigerians have tried at one point or another. I remember the Lekki something, that revolution, which was almost metamorphosing to a revolution. It can be stolen and it can also be weakened. Iran's first uprising was hijacked. I'm giving an example now. When I say revolutions can be hijacked, Iran's first uprising was hijacked because power changed hands, but structure of accountability were never built. So when you are going into a revolution, or when you are involved in a revolution, or when you are having a revolution, it's not just about changing of persons, or changing of power, or changing of hands. If you in a revolution, if you change people and you don't put up structures of accountability, that revolution will be hijacked by the allies, because allies don't engage in revolution. Excuse me, please. Yeah, I was talking about revolution being hijacked, and I said if you involve in a revolution, don't just think of changing persons or hands. Think of putting up structures of accountability. So when that is not done, that revolution is likely to be hijacked. And probably you will have the worst kind of system. So monarchy was replaced with religious absolutism. I'm sorry for using that. Monarchy was replaced with religious absolutism, from absolute. Whether it's a correct English or not, please, I want you to understand what I'm saying. Monarchy was replaced with religious absolutism, derived from absolute. Crowns were replaced with turbans. Crowns were replaced with turbans. And in Nigeria, we have a lot of turbans everywhere, parading themselves, as everywhere. But fear remained. After the revolution, after Shan was ousted, then religious absolutism took over, and fear became the order of the day. Dissent voices became heresy. After that 79 revolution, 79, dissent voices became heresy. These are similarities. You can also, those of you who are Nigerians or who have been in Nigeria or who have lived in Nigeria, you will also know that in Nigeria, dissent voices are treated as heresy, are treated as rebellion. Once you don't agree, once you have a different opinion, you are either a rebel, or it is heresy. Like we have that girl in the Sokoto who just said something on a church group, school WhatsApp platform, and her opinion became heresy, and she paid her life. Her life was used as a prize. So dissent voices became heresy, became rebellion. When you criticize, it becomes treason. Criticism becomes treason. If you protest, it becomes treason. If you say you don't agree, it becomes treason. Once you are saying singing a different tune, that's a treason. And obedience becomes faith. When you're obedient to the system, that is when it becomes, you are a good citizen. When leaders place themselves beyond questioning, And those of you who are Nigerians, you should know what I'm talking about. When leaders place themselves beyond questioning, that's what has been happening in Iran. You can't question a leader. You can't. You can't. So when leaders place themselves beyond questioning, whether through religion, nationalism, or ideology, tyranny becomes scared and therefore harder to challenge. When leaders place themselves beyond questioning, it becomes a kind of tyranny that is harder to challenge. So lessons for Nigeria and Biafra: never replace one accountable power with another. Nigeria have been having series of elections, and all the elections are rigged, and they disenfranchise a particular group of people or a particular tribe. They even kill, destroy. So never replace one unaccountable power with another. Never confuse symbolism with freedom. And never surrender critical thinking. Never surrender critical thinking to any ally, no matter how highly educated or highly placed. Some people are just having the prefix professors and doctors and PhD holders. We are saying to Nigerians in particular, never surrender critical thinking to any ally, no matter how highly educated or highly placed. So if we are fast forwarding today, Iran is ruled by a regime that executes protesters. And what do we see in Nigeria? We are saying that Iran is ruled by a regime that executes protesters. And what do we see in Nigeria? I remember in the early stages of IPOB, IPOB was only going out of the street, on the street, waving flags, singing songs, going to stadium to pray, having their meetings. Everything was very peaceful. Nobody was challenged. But what happened? Protesters were being mowed down by the state. So one of the things we are seeing identical with for Nigeria and Iran today, both regimes execute protesters. They criminalize women's dignity. And that's why we Biafrans are saying no. We value our women. We cannot subject them to the kind of system that Islam subjects women to. We cannot. And this is what Iranians have been suffering and passing through. You see their pictures in the 70s. We know these things are very clear. It's open there for everybody to see. And so we have seen it coming. Our leaders, NNAMDI, KANU, saw it coming. Ojukwu saw it coming. Effion saw it coming. And that's where they are taking Nigeria to, where women will become masquerades, suffocating under heat as masquerade. So women's dignity becomes criminalized. Journalists are jailed. It happened in Iran. is happening in Nigeria, and we Biafran don't want that kind of system. We don't want to be part of it. We are egalitarians in nature, Republicans in nature. So we have to be who we are, regardless of what. We can't change us from who we are. And Nigerian journalists are also being jailed and even being killed. Investigative journalism in Nigeria is dead. Is dead. You can only blow the trumpet that pleases the government. Funds. They fund violence abroad while citizens starve at home. Iran have been funding violence, terrorism abroad. In so many countries, even in Nigeria, they are the chief sponsor of terrorism, exporting it and sponsoring it. Both Al Qaeda, both Hezbollah, Brotherhood, whatever you call them, all of them, Iran has been sponsoring this deadly terrorist organization. And today, they have very strong presence in Nigeria. Courtesy, sponsorship from Iran. And so when you live under this kind of environment, surviving by fear, not by consent. Nigerians survive by fear, not by their will, not by consent. No. In spite of these indicators, in spite of all these indicators I've mentioned, the people in Iran have decided to rise again, despite the kind of regime they found themselves, the kind of dictatorship, how cruel they are. They have made up their mind to rise again. This resistance is not led by generals or political allies. If anybody is thinking that the generals and the politicians will lead protests or resistance for the masses who are suffering, we are here to say, you better have a rethink. Better have a rethink. Bella once said, the Nigerian situation is a situation of people who are suffering and they are smiling. And we Biafrans have said we can no longer continue to live under such system where people smile, whereas they are suffering. We cannot be part of that system. So Nigerians, we are calling on you that this is the time for you to wake up. You cannot continue to, your fathers smiled and suffered, we are smiling and suffering. Your children smiled, your grandfathers smiled and suffered, and you have also today, you are smiling and suffering. I think a time comes when you should say enough is enough. This is the time when the youth should reject inherited fear. What is happening in Nigeria today is an inherited fear. You are born into it. Your father suffered, lived under fear, and you are born to inherit the same fear. And your children will also inherit the same fear. So time has come when you can say enough is enough. So what we are saying is, this is the time for a wake-up. And this space is a wake-up call to Nigerians. Where Biafrans come in is that You have been clamoring for protests. People like Sowore have been calling for revolution, calling for protests. But now that there is a world power whose eyes have been set on nations where the leadership is where the leadership is anti-people, where there is oppression, where protesters are being killed. And there is a leader today who is saying, if you kill your protesters, then I will send help. Nigerians, if you need freedom from these oppressors, this is the time for you to rise. This is the time for you to rise and get out of this regime that kills and maims and rapes and sponsor your elimination. There is something I want to say here before I continue. If anyone is thinking that, I'm talking to Nigerians now, if anyone is thinking that Nigeria will ever, if you are 60 years today, or you are 70 years, or you are 40 years, if you can recall in the past, you will notice a trend. And what is this trend? Every day, every year, every decade has always been worse than the previous. And this is history, not just past history, even current. If you are sincere to yourself, you can bear witness to what I am saying. Yesterday has always been worse. Last year has always been worse. I mean, this year has always been worse. Today has always been worse than yesterday. Next month will be worse. Next year has already been worse. This year will be worse than last year. So if you continue to live under this atmosphere, then one thing awaits you. What is it? Final destruction. Alternatively, Islamization and Fulanization. There is no reversal. When I started, I played a series of tapes. I played the voice of a Biafran leader, the Biafran leader, NNAMDI. I played the voice of Army General J1HADIST, a Nigerian patriot, a patriotic Nigerian, and he was fed up with the system, and he asked you to resist, stand up and defend yourself. He said, if you are depending on the military to protect you, he said you will all die one by one. I played this, and it's been all over the place. I also played the voice of Kunle, who has said they have been in the military intelligence. He's a commandor. And he talked about his experiences. He talked about sponsors of terrorism in Nigeria. He said they are in high places in government. He said they are in the Senate. He said they are in Aso Rock. He said they are, the DSS know them. The list is there. He talked about Dubai releasing names. He said, but they are helpless. So when people of this caliber comes to the open, to the international space, to tell you the situation, and you are doubting them, then it means all you are doing is committing suicide. So we are now going to parallels Iran, Nigeria, and Biafra. What are the parallels? Now, let us look into the mirror. Let's look into the mirror. This is a call to self-reflection and awareness. The mirror symbolizes honesty. When I say let's look into the mirror, I want to tell, let's be honest to ourselves. For the Nigerians, I want you to be honest to yourself. Can we really, in reality, can we see reality as it is? That's what I mean by let's for once look at the mirror. Can we see reality as it is? Can we see the situation as it is? Can you, as a Nigerian, pause for a while and look critically to the situation of Nigeria and see it for what it is and see it for what it exactly represents? Can you just, for a once, just stop being emotional? Just for a once, just for once, stop, halt, pause, and meditate and reflect. Be honest to yourself and try to see reality for what it is without excuses, without leaning to your tribe, without leaning to your religion. Can you pause for a while and be truthful to yourself? I urge us to recognize both our personal roles and collective experiences under systems of oppression and terror. Because what we are doing here is we are trying to wake up Nigerians who are sleeping, who are thinking that tomorrow will be better. This generation of Nigerians have been born under military rule, under dictatorship. They have never tasted freedom. They have never known anything about freedom. So every time they look at the situation, they think it is normal. And when you are in Nigeria, when the light goes off and it comes back, you hear children shout, up NEPA. So this is like, this thing has become a normality. It becomes something that is normal life. They have never tasted freedom for once. So what they are passing through, it looks as if it is a normal way of life. But this is a call to waking you up and say, ask yourself question. How realistic are you to yourself? We may have different histories, different cultures, but we all have the same or similar shared oppressive experiences, both Biafrans and Nigerians. And that's why we Biafrans, we have made up our mind, we are leaving the contraption called Nigeria. Because the experiences cut across. Apart from the elites and the politicians, corrupt politicians and the elites, the masses, the majority of the populace, the millions and millions of people, both Biafrans and Nigeria, we shared similar experiences, one way or the other. Though our experience may be different from your experience, but there is this common thread that runs across. Yes, you may have a different history, different background, different culture, but we have all the same or similar shared oppressive experiences. And let me give us examples of some of these patterns we see repeated across different societies. Whether you're a Biafran, whether you're a Nigerian, there are certain patterns that we see across. And there is no doubt that we shall share similar experiences or oppression. Number one, allies insulated from the suffering of the people. Allies insulated from the sufferings of the people. Look at them in your Senate. I'm talking to you Nigerians now. Look at them in your Senate. Look at their take-home income every year. Allies are insulated from the sufferings of the people. They don't share in your suffering. They don't share in your pain. They don't share in your agony. They are insulated, completely insulated from what you are passing through. Regardless of your tribe, so long as you are a common man, you are not among the allies, you are not among the politicians, the corrupt politicians, the senators, and those in Asoro, the drug baron, and the sponsor, the co-founder of Boko Haram, the vice president, which is a known fact. Then there is this militarized responses to peaceful dissent. Anytime people want to dissent, anytime people want to say no, the military they are rolled out. The army is rolled out to the streets. And what you see is what? You see killings. So there's no opportunity to say no. And this cuts across. But to some people, it is more brutal, especially to Biafran. When it has to do to Biafran, it becomes more brutal. But everyone suffers it. Though Biafran suffers, we suffer it more brutally. Then source wealth existing alongside mass poverty. So much wealth, natural wealth, natural resources. But what do you see? You see massive poverty. This one is also cuts across. So the point is, these are the things that most of the things Iranians were passing through, and they have decided to wake up. They decided to wake up. So we want to learn some lessons from them. If you're a Nigerian, if you're a Biafran, we have to learn a lesson from them. Massive resources, massive wealth, alongside massive poverty. Youths are criminalized simply for speaking out or protesting. Remember October 20, when there was anti-police brutality, the Lekki experience. You saw what happened, and Biafrans also, we paid dearly in Obibo and other parts of the country. So the youths are criminalized simply for speaking out or protesting. And regions are punished for demanding basic dignity. Regions are punished, and this particularly affects Biafran for demanding basic dignity. Terror is imposed on all sides. It's all everywhere in Nigeria, people are crying. You can't travel safely. There is terror on all sides. Daily experiences of loss, danger, and the constant threat of death. Constant threat of death. These are common things that everywhere, whether you're a Biafran from Nigeria, you can feel if you're living in Nigeria, in that territory, or you're living in Biafra land. These are common experiences. Biafra experiences this as collective punishment. When it comes to Biafrans, the state of Nigeria imposes these punishments to us as a collective punishment. To us, it's a collective punishment. So, so long as you are from that side of the divide, it doesn't matter whether you did this or you did that. So long as you are from there, you become a victim.
Thank you for sharing. Good morning.
So Nigeria experiences it as a normalized dysfunction. And for those of you who are Nigerians, your own experience is as a normalized dysfunction. But for us, Biafrans, we experience
Suffering
it as
and
a collective
smiling.
punishment. When power survives by force instead of consent, legitimacy is already gone. And that's what has happened to Iranian. That's what's happening in Nigeria. When power survives by force, Nigerian government, the power in Nigeria has always been surviving by force, from the military rule to down to the civilian rule. Everything is by force. Power is taken by force. And when that is the case, legitimacy is gone. Let me just say one thing or a few things about the first revolution. The first trace change, minds much. The issue with Nigerians is as they are suffering and they are crying,
Smiling, suffering and smiling.
their minds are locked up.
Yes, suffering and
Their
smiling.
minds are not free within. The strongest poison is not guided by soldiers. The strongest prison, rather, is not guided by soldiers. It's guided by resignation. When you resign to a situation, that is the strongest prison. That's what Nigerians are passing through. The strongest prison is not guided by soldiers.
It's by your mind.
Guided by resignation. Nigerians have resigned to fate. So whatever comes every day is okay by them. And for us, Biafrans, it's not okay for us. It's not okay by us. But we are saying to Nigerians, how long will you continue to resign yourself to fate and to subject your children and unborn children and generation to come to the same situation? Iranians have said no, enough is enough. And thank God there is a voice saying, help is coming. If you kill the protesters, I will send help. And this is an opportunity for those of you who are Nigerians. It's time to say no to fear. Stop resigning yourself to situations. Like I said, the strongest prison is not guided by soldiers, it's guided by resignation. Oppressed people have been taught lies that have always kept them in chains. When you have been oppressed for long, there are these lies that become part of you. Oppressed people have been taught lies that have always kept them in chains. And that's the situation in Nigeria. Nigerians are in chains because there are these lies that have become strongholds in them. And they find it difficult to extricate themselves from it. And here are some of those lies. That nothing will change. That nothing will change. Nigerians have resigned themselves to a situation to the point that they believe that nothing will change. But we Biafrans, we are saying is something must change. And what is it for us? Independence. Independence. Sovereignty. And that's the only what can change for us. And that's the only way we can be free. So Nigerians have come to a point where they've just believed that nothing can change. So what can we do? But when you look at the Iranians, they came to a point where they said, we can do something. We can do something. We can't continue this way. Another lie that have held Nigerians captive for long is, this is Africa. This is another lie. This is Africa. This is Africa. This is just Africa. So there's nothing anybody can do. There's nothing anybody can. This is Africa. Nobody can do anything. This is Africa. This is the second lie. Then the third lie is that we are powerless. Who told you that we are powerless? Look at the Iranians. They have realized that power belongs to the people. Nigerians have come to a point where they believe they are powerless. The fourth lie is just survive. Just survive. Just make sure you survive. Go out, struggle, just make sure you survive. That's the fourth lie that have held Nigerians in chain. But for us, Biafrans, we don't just want to survive, we want to live. We want to live life in full. Jesus says, I've come to give you life and give it to you more abundantly. And that abundant life, we Biafrans, we want to live it.
Thank you for sharing.
We don't want to come to this earth through as just roam about, just live to survive. We want to come here, live life in full, contribute to development of not just our nation,
to the world.
The entire world. We want to leave our mark. Our contribution must be felt by the entire globe. So Iran's resistance have shattered these lies. These lies of nothing will change. This is Africa. We are powerless. Just survive. What Iranians are doing today have shattered this lie, which means you can unchain yourself by stop believing that nothing can change. Stop believing that you are powerless. Stop believing that this is Africa. And stop believing that all you should do is just to survive. The Iranians have boldly declared we may suffer,
now.
we may die,
please.
But we will never surrender our dignity.
Share to WhatsApp group.
Iranians have demonstrated that we may suffer, we may die,
WhatsApp group, all WhatsApp